What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Fire Emblem 3 Houses Blue Lions Maddening Mode low turn count playthrough. My name is Mekkah and I'm not playing, I'm commentating. Today I have for you 3 very different chapters, starting us off with chapter 20. This is our 5th encounter with the Death Knight, and after this he's going to be dead for good. As you can tell by our starting army, we take him very seriously as a threat. I mean, we have Great Lord Dimitri using Stride on our cast, and then we also have Noble Ferdinand von Eyre and a bunch of other rally bots. Ferdinand can't really be anything else besides a noble because he is Ferdinand von Eyre. Mercedes can't be anything else besides a noble because she's level 4 with base level strength. She doesn't really have much of a choice. But it seems like regardless, we are planning to do something with her, because we're moving her forward with all kinds of warping and dancing and striding and even smiting it a little bit. You can also see that she's holding quite the unusual weapon in her hands. That's actually the Scythe of Sariel, the Death Knight's trademark weapon. In order for her to be able to use this, she needs to have an A rank in lances, which explains why she didn't have room to train in swords for the Caspar Mercedes Paralogue. The Scythe of Sariel is very accurate and very good, but oh boy, was it a pain to get her to A rank lances with her Lansbane. Now, we have Bernadetta dance for both Byleth and Mercedes this turn. In the process, she ends up getting Adjutant Hilda to Master Archer and get hit +20. After that, we hit the Death Knight twice in the face with Byleth for 35 damage each, and now he's down to 2 HP. Thanks to Flame being an Adjutant to Byleth as usual. And now we have Mercedes ready and in position to commit some fratricide. If you look at Mercedes' stats for a moment, you might see that she has Dexterity +4, the Deified Fish boost, Ignat's Rally Dexterity, Special Dance, Lance Prowess level 4, the Accuracy Ring, Kingdom Archers level 5, and that's A support, and she's access to Night Leader Combat Art for some extra hit as well. So that gives her a total of 185 hit against the Death Knight's 68 avoid. Just enough to commit fratricide and complete this easy boss kill chapter in one turn. And now, thankfully, we never have to use Mercedes again, because she sucks. Let us move on to the next chapter.
Wait. Just like that.
The Leonie Linhardt Paralog is back to serious business, as you can tell by the reappearance of all of our Wyvern Riders and Wyvern Lords. This time we have to do another kill boss map, but the Lord of the Lake is the giant turtle that I've been hinting at for a couple of episodes, and it is one of my favorite boss kills in this whole series just because of how much the player has done to maximize reliability. But still, this guy is a big pain. He has quick riposte and miracle to deal with, and any miracle activations will render our reliability measures useless and cause a reset. So we start off with a giant warp on Sylvain by Linhardt. This is the biggest warp that we do in the whole run. It actually didn't need to be this long, and the gardening stat boosters we used to give Linhardt this range could have been used to increase reliability elsewhere. If you want to know how, that has to do with a couple repositions that I will detail in the paste bin in the description as usual. So the layout of this map makes setting up a proper Dance of the Gods formation quite difficult because there's a lot of water here, but thankfully we only have to cross a body of water that is 1 tile wide. So what we can do is position our flyers over that body of water and then put our foot-locked Dance of the Goddess user, in this case Annette, next to that T formation below them on the ground, and that'll be good. Unfortunately, we cannot use Dance of the Goddess on flyers because the battalions are foot-locked. Annette has been reclassed to a Brigand because if she was a Cavalier like she usually is, she would get impeded by the stairs, and even dismounting wouldn't fix that because then she wouldn't have enough move. If she was a Paladin, we would have been fine though. Now, for the turtle, we start off with a Gambit from Hilda, who has a 100 hit because of the +20 hit that we got last chapter, and because of her high charm. Initially, we're actually going to use Ignatz with his personal +20 hit, but his charm isn't as good as Hilda's. So that's the whole reason why Hilda was brought up here. And then we're going to start barraging on him with the Brave Axe. Sylvain is really good attack thanks to Death Blow, so we start off with him, and we warped him further ahead with Linhardt to make sure he would make it back to the Dance of the Goddess formation. To take down the Lord of the Lake, we make use of our personal skills quite a bit, which is what makes this clear so interesting to me. So Sylvain, when he attacks next to Hilda, gets +5 attack from both of their personal skills. Hilda gives +3 to adjacent male allies, and Sylvain gets +2 from attacking next to female allies. What also helps is that Sylvain, of course, has Death Blow, as well as really good attack for his level, and an A support with Ingrid, as always. From there, we trade around to Brave Axe to Felix, who has a personal skill that gives +5 attack when he doesn't have the battalion equipped, which we've actually done for this chapter. the first time we've seen it since the early game. And I find there's Sedeth, who doesn't boost himself, but he does boost adjacent female allies from attacking. That's going to come in handy on Balath later. Besides the Brave Axe, we also trade around the Raphael gem, which prevents the monster from critting us. If we didn't do this, then he would have double digits crit on all of our units, and that would reduce the reliability quite a bit. Speaking of reliability, he gains quick riposte on his last health bar, and that's what makes the Brave weapon so ineffective from here, because doubling does much less than quadding. So from here what we do is we gambit him again with Dimitri to redirect his attack towards him for enemy phase. And instead of having Byleth come in for another attack with the Brave Axe, we're going to do something quite different. You might recall that we had Byleth insist on mastering the Pegasus Knight class, and you might have thought that was for Darting Blow, which probably came in handy at least once or twice. But what we're actually going to do is use a new combat art called the Triangle Attack. This thing actually gives like +8 might, and it has a lot of accuracy and crit as well. And that allows us to get this guy down to below half HP. From here, he's redirected towards Dimitri, as usual, and we kill him with the good old Battalion Wrath, Battalion Vantage. And that is Lord of the Lake, cleared in one turn. Let's move on to Chapter 21. Chapter 21 is interesting not because of its main objective, that is just a good old kill Hubert, something we've already done like 5-6 times over, and we don't really need to do it anymore. What does make it interesting to me is that there's a side objective that's actually worth doing, and this is a rarity in 3 houses, especially post-time skip. You're probably familiar with the Opera House and how you can visit it with Manuela or Dorothea to get the Opera co-volunteers. This is the second Dance of the Goddess battalion that we can get, and it's absolutely crucial for a quick clear of endgame. What you might not know is that if you visit it with both Manuela and Dorothea, then you also get a Speedwing in addition to the Dance of the Goddess battalion. And that is not something that we actually need to do, but it is interesting to get, and if you ever need to hit the crucial 37 attack speed threshold for endgame, then it can be worth visiting just for that reason. The way we go about making Manuela and Dorothea get over there is a little more elaborate than it needs to be. Generally, the most important thing is that they are both able to fly, like we classed them both into Pegasus Knights. We could have just had Manuela fly straight down from the starting point and visit it from there after a stride. We didn't need to dance her with Bernadetta the way we did, but this makes it look more fancy. And in the same way, there are ways to make a unit from the right hand side reach the Opera House, less warp range than we did with Lestithia. Once we've established that, we can also see that getting towards the boss is quite easy with all the movement options we have left. Byleth needs to fly straight down, and to that end we have Bernadetta warped towards the center of the map so that Byleth can go down there. You can see that Linhardt only needs to warp 3 tiles there just to give Byleth enough move to reach Hubert on turn 1. Now Hubert in this version of the chapter is not that easy compared to his Dimitri Paralogue appearance, because he doesn't start with Meteor equipped this time, so he's a bit more dodgy. It's also worth noting that he one-hit KOs Byleth at the HP that she's at, probably because of the Devil Axe, but we have Desperation on her, so he actually doesn't get to counterattack her at all, even though he doesn't get one-hit KO'd. But yeah, that's going to be Chapter 21, also cleared in one turn, and I will see you next time for the final episode. Peace out, and goodbye.